Hey guys, crew of Blonde Wave, I'm Eric.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Aaron.
And we just returned from our screening of Marvel's Captain America Civil War. Right?
Yeah.
Now, I will preface this review by saying that I haven't had a whole lot of sleep the last 2.5 days, maybe 3 hours, maybe 4 hours total. Because I've been staying up for a lot, trying to get some work done. Now, because of that, I still wanted to see Captain America as soon as possible, so I went, as soon as in the first showing we could see it. But fuck, was I tired, and I did. It's embarrassing, but there were a couple moments that I kind of conked out. Calvin's trying to convince me that I'd missed 15
like
minutes.
20 minutes.
I know. There's
like
no
15,
way I had
20
missed
minutes.
20 minutes. I might have.
You were snoring in the theater, dude.
I don't know if I was.
I only noticed that you were asleep because you were snoring. Because you were like sitting perfectly straight up in the chair, and you're just
My eyes open.
just like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, I jabbed you in the ribs really hard, and you didn't budge. You
Yes.
started snoring again, and
Yeah.
I like gave you a heave ho.
I'm sure you
and
did.
you like woke up and like,
Did he wake
thank
up?
you.
Did he do one of these? What?
I didn't do
No, he didn't do a what,
I
but he
didn't
was
do
like
that.
oh, thank you.
There was one point where you do that thing where you think you're falling, like,
I was wondering what that was.
and the people behind me were like, I'm like, shut up. Anyway, so I want to preface all of that by saying that who wants to listen to a review by a guy that fell asleep through part of the movie? It's kind of embarrassing. It's like I lost a little geek cred a little bit. You fell asleep during Civil War. I won't finish the sentence. But I'm absolutely going to go see it again this weekend. So what that means is that I'm going to act as more of a moderator this time, and I'm going to be asking you guys some questions.
About
you wanna
what?
do that?
Do you know the points?
I know some stuff.
What
I know
What's
some
happened?
I'm
stuff.
sorry, I'm just.
So
what happened to after?
anyway, Calvin,
Why am I at 45 minutes in the movie?
what do you think happened at 45 minutes in the movie?
Bomb.
I mean, I know the.
Bomb, bomb.
I
All right.
I know what Act 1 and Act 2 and Act 3 was. Shit, I'm good. I'm making up.
About Act
when we
5.
go. I'm making it up so well, you guys think like, oh, I guess I didn't notice that.
Maybe you do, are you?
They're all fucking bobbleheads.
Yeah, they're all bobbleheads. We do actually
Marvel
have
has
the
to be.
whole cast. No, we're missing. Who are we
Winter
missing?
Soldier.
We're missing Winter Soldier.
And we don't have a Hawkeye.
Yeah, so we're using a Infinity character.
Nope. There was
He
no
knocked
deal.
it over.
No, that was not
That
the deal.
was not the deal.
The deal was if she
He
falls
knocked it over.
you get
I know.
slapped. Regardless. There is no
missed 15
I didn't
minutes.
make the deal.
stipulations.
15
I
minutes,
made
you
no
fucking-
deal.
This guy's sleeping over here. So anyway, let's do just a real quick before we move into spoilers. So anybody that has not yet seen the movie that's watching this right now, you can stick on now, but then we'll tell you when we're going to start going heavy into the spoilers.
Yeah.
So
And by the way, watch the movie!
yeah, do that. Aaron, we'll start with you. General impressions and how you felt about the movie as a whole.
It was interesting the route they took.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the overall story of it, though.
Yeah.
But it felt like what I thought it was going to be was very much a Captain America side of this and that. Although
Mhm.
you did get like other people's views here and there, but I felt like it was heavy on Captain America. But it was Captain America's movie.
Yeah.
I just feel like I want a movie where Captain America can just do stuff without it being super governmental or
Politics.
yeah. Like every movie he's been in has been fair. Like
Yeah, but isn't that the nature of his character, to be a
soldiers.
personification of a American soldier and what war is used for?
I don't
in the
know.
political world?
I guess so. I just would like something where he could just be.
Cap.
Winter Soldier was cool because of the kind of spy espionage stuff.
Yeah.
But then the first one was all about him in World War II and being a soldier there.
Oh,
and whatnot.
true.
And this one was, I guess, the closest of him just being able to just think for himself for what he wanted to do specifically. Even though the last one was very kind of similar to that, but not as much because his whole government was crashing around him.
To me, to the few moments that I was awake for, it seemed like Cap really was not necessarily fighting for himself, but fighting for the rights of others in this one versus like the safety of others in this one. It was very much a Constitution kind of thing, you know?
Well, I mean, is Captain America always supposed to be fighting with and or against governments? So just like, has he ever had like a story where you can just not do that? You know what I mean?
No. Well,
Like-
I mean, what? Like what? Like he solves like a murder?
Just how about just I don't know. How about he just saves it like a president? Iron Man did it. Why couldn't Captain America do that
He
instead?
just goes at, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why can't it be something like that? Have a villain, and it's just like a villain story. Like all the bad guys in all of these have always been like some kind of crazy governmental political agenda kind of thing, you know?
True, but I don't know. I feel like you're solving a problem that doesn't exist. I like these movies so far.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it still. I just would like to see Captain America maybe in a different element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all three movies, I feel like have been very similar in what the villain is.
I bet. I think what you're looking for is a more like global terror that's not necessarily about government, but about an enemy.
Yeah,
And
I guess
think we'll be getting that
Oh.
in Infinity War.
Yeah, but that won't be just Cap though. That's gonna be crazy.
True. So moving on, Calvin, how did you feel about this movie, and how would you compare it to maybe some of the other movies from the MCU?
I really enjoyed it. I think the fights in it were probably the most enjoyable of all of them.
Well, we're gonna gloss over it for right now because we have to spoiler talk. But
Yeah,
the airport scene is the best thing I've ever seen in my stupid life.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Best
Like,
thing.
if you think that like a fight scene could get cluttered, the more heroes you put into it, no,
No,
it gets better,
better,
infinitely
The
better.
Russo brothers, man, they could do anything.
It was insanely.
They could
enjoyable.
adapt the phone book to film, and it would be good.
and it would be funny even.
Yeah. Anyway, so
there was a thing that I saw where people were like, every time Calvin's in the video, I always wait for that one moment when my headphones just explode. Because it always
Yeah.
happens when
I'm
Calvin's
sorry.
in the
It's
video.
true.
And that was a no.
yeah. But Calvin and Aaron, where would you rank this among the other great movies from Marvel Studios?
All of the other movies, I would say, were at 10, and subsequently, after watching this movie, they've all been bumped down a notch.
Oh,
They're all at
so
10.
this movie has ruined.
Every other
Marvel
Marvel
for
movie.
you.
It hasn't ruined it. It's set the bar higher.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you're not saying, well, this movie's 11, because that's not, you're not following the rules,
It's-
buddy.
yeah.
1 to 10.
It's
1 to 10.
110%. There's
There is no 11.
yeah.
It's like that whole like rating scale, whatever, and the average is 7. What?
Yeah. It's like when
Fix
Professor
your shit.
Oak.
Fix your shit.
It's like when Professor Oak is like, you want grass, you want fire, you want water. He's like, well, I want ghosts. And then, you can't have it, you fucking idiot. There's no ghost here. Well, that's what I think.
We'll go out and find it.
I want dragon type. You don't get that till later. Take this one.
You gotta earn it.
Okay.
Oak's such a-
Aaron, how did you feel? And ranking them.
In rank, I don't know. My stuff's always been skewed from popular belief because Iron Man 3 was always like one of my favorite Iron Man movies. Which
Yeah.
most people are like, no, Iron Man
Interesting.
1's
Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I liked it a lot because the storyline for it really kind of dove into Tony, and more of. I felt it was more of like the suit isn't who Iron Man is. Tony
Yeah.
Stark is
Yeah.
is Iron Man even without the suit. He was still pretty good. But I mean, I would. Winter Soldier I thought was great.
Yeah.
And this is right up there, I think, with Winter Soldier as far as like just the story and how fun it is, and even the comedy in it. But I don't know. It's better than Iron Man 2 for me. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's up there with Guardians of the Galaxy because that was one of my favorites too.
Sure.
Man,
I liked it a lot,
Guardians.
Yeah, I mean,
Guardians of the Galaxy is hard to put on a scale.
it is, and that's what I was gonna.
So good.
That's what I was gonna say is that. Well, I haven't yet fully seen this movie, or been able to digest it at all. I kind of just like saw a really awesome, overly long highlight reel. I felt like.
What's going on?
That's fairly accurate.
Yeah.
From what you told me.
I mean, I could tell you the plot of the movie,
yeah.
but I couldn't necessarily tell you the themes. But I think the thing that might put this at the very top, even over Guardians of the Galaxy, was everything I saw from Black Panther.
He was really
I
cool.
Dude, that was
loved
awesome.
Black Panther in this movie. And I guess that'll probably be a good segue to go into our spoiler talk. If you guys don't have anything else general that you want to talk about.
I would definitely say if you weren't planning on watching this movie, I don't know what's wrong with you, but you should go watch it.
I would say if you're not planning on seeing this movie, you probably don't exist because everybody's going to see this movie.
Or you just hate Marvel.
No.
Go watch BVS.
Sorry.
Uh,
I don't want to get into it. Let's get into the spoiler talk. So I wrote down. No, I had a notebook with me. At one point, I just got up and left because I was like, I'm falling asleep. I went and got a slushie and nachos.
Yeah.
I was like,
He said he was going to go pee.
No,
I didn't know
didn't. I said I was going to go get a drink because when I came back, I thought you were going to go use the bathroom. I just let it go. Then when I'm starting an argument, like, I didn't say that. You did. Check the tape. You're pointing at the.
You did say you were going to go.
If I did, it was a complete accident. I did not mean to say that.
Well, that's fine. I will forgive you.
I
but
thought I said
You brought
hey,
back nachos.
I'm going to get a drink.
Nacho cheese.
Nacho libre.
You brought back nachos? You had some nachos, man.
I didn't mean to say nachos.
I didn't mean to say nachos.
Check the tape.
I didn't mean
Let's
to
go
say
to Timmy's
nachos.
for
I
some
didn't
donuts.
say didn't say nachos.
Timmy O's.
Yeah. Okay, so I did write down some notes despite my nachos and despite my tiredness.
Is that what that stain is up there? Is the nachos?
There's no stain, Aaron.
Where's there a stain?
There's not.
Eric is like too tired. He's like, "Where's the stain?"
He's like, it's all the same color,
Wouldn't
right?
surprise me. The thing I really liked in this movie to start out with is that red book.
The red book?
The red book with the star on it being the words that were used to mind trick.
They were like the code words that kind of like brought back his like.
Yeah,
Hydra.
They were trigger words.
Yeah, they're trigger words, but I thought they were interesting that it seemed like to be the same words every time to get him into that suggestion state. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, like, if it's just like a fucking piece of paper, like a piece of strap that has these words on it, why is there a book? Maybe the book is like, if you have specific tasks you want to do, you gotta say specific words to, you know, code his brain. You know what I'm saying? Versus just like saying random things.
I mean, it could have been a lot of information overall, and that was one of the pages in there.
Yeah.
Of like, to get them to do this, you do that.
I thought it would be interesting. It's like when you're coding, you know, you're coding a computer program, you have your different scripts and your different things that you write, but if you do them in certain orders, they'll do different things, you know? So I was wondering if something was like that was happening, but I really enjoyed that plot, even though I did miss who the fuck the villain was. I know that his family died in Sokovia.
Yep.
I know that his motivation and what his ultimate goal was, but I don't remember his name.
Zemo.
So he was Baron Zemo. Okay.
I don't know if he was Baron Zemo. I mean, he's locked away now.
Because I had heard that he was Baron Zemo, but he looks nothing like Baron Zemo.
I mean, he said
in the comics.
when he said my name's Zemo, and I'm like, Zemo? I'm like, I've heard that name. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah.
though.
So I mean,
Was his father Baron Zemo?
I don't know.
His father wasn't in the movie. We don't know.
Well, I know, but he mentioned his father
Yep. And his son.
and his wife.
And his wife. And they're dead.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of symbolic, the red book with the
Star?
Soviet star on it.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of felt like it was like communism, like
True.
ruining America and stuff like that. It felt like a callback to like World War II.
It is interesting because I mean it's supposed to be mainly German. He was right. Because he was fighting the Nazis and he was experimented by the Germans. But did those guys have Russian accents?
Hydra would have been everywhere anyway, so it probably wouldn't matter.
Now, here's the thing. Have we ever had a cold open sequence before the Marvel Studios, thing? Because in this movie, it starts out with the Winter Soldier and the Cairo Chamber thing.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the Marvel, just throwing the papers and stuff. I'm pretty sure we've always had that title sequence, first, and then you go into the movie.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that
It may have
struck
been.
me.
It may have been just like an editor's choice to like symbolize like this happened before all of this.
Possibly.
Just to get your like mindset into it.
Was it? I mean, I don't remember 100%, but wasn't Ant-Man? Didn't they have that little snippet just before the Marvel thing with like the Howard Stark and older Peggy Carter and all that? I remember that being there, and I thought then it went Marvel, and then it came back to the.
No,
Did it?
I think it was Marvel and then that and then to the prison.
Is that what it did?
You can't trust me in my state I am now, but I've only seen that movie twice,
Mm-hmm.
and I cannot remember. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting because we watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. every week, and that's always there. Yeah.
Well, they do the previously, right? And
Yeah.
then Marvel, and then...
Yeah.
Shoot 'em.
Yep. The principal from Community
Yeah,
was in this movie.
yeah. He
Who?
was
The-
principal.
The
I mean,
nerdy
saying that again didn't help me.
Stark walked off stage, and that one little short
Oh,
bald
the
guy,
guy
was
like, can faculty get stuff too?
Yeah,
and all
yes.
that? Oh, okay.
Is this-
Now that guy is from Community. Ahmed from Community was in Winter Soldier. Connection is that the Russo brothers, who directed this movie, also directed a lot of Community.
Oh.
So I thought that was
Oh.
interesting that he's bringing in actors from
That's cool.
one of the shows
Did they
that
direct
they what?
Winter Soldier too?
Yes,
Okay.
they did not write it.
Okay.
They did write this movie, but this movie and Infinity War is going to be the movies that they are writing and directing.
Gotcha.
So I find that interesting. That it's not only are they doing that, but that they've made the best movie so far. To me, Calvin, how'd you feel about Falcon's little buddy he has with him now?
Oh, Red Wing?
Yeah,
That was cool.
yeah, I like that. That's a cool idea. I don't really know much about Falcon in the comics, but
Neither do I.
I like the idea that he has this little drone thing.
Yeah.
I liked Falcon overall.
Yes.
I loved the wings deflecting bullets and the
Yes.
freaking back shield thing he was
And
doing.
he's just standing there. That was
Just
the
standing
best.
there doing
Yeah.
stuff and like launching missiles out of his
Yeah.
pack and stuff, like Boba Fett.
Yeah,
You know, like I thought Falcon was really cool in this movie.
Yeah, I felt that they gave him a lot more character and abilities in this one to
Yeah.
actually make it believable that he's a step
I-
in.
I
Avenger.
agree. I agree. Like, it seems like in Winter Soldier, he kind of felt like Will Smith from Independence Day. Like, yeah, he's an all around good guy, and
Good pilot.
he can do some
this
shit.
and that,
You,
yeah.
you give him a chance, he'll shine.
And he did some pretty cool stuff in
Yeah.
Winter Soldier.
But he seems to be the one that's like, he should get the most improved medal. Like, I bet you he just been training day in, day out, and he's like, how am I going to use these fucking stupid wings to be a superhero? And he figured it out.
Oh man, dude, when
Yeah.
that one's in the opening shot thing with the Avengers attacking the facility and stopping Crossbones, when he did his like fly in and jump and like spin and he was
Mhm.
blocking bullets
Mhm.
and then knocked a guy
Mhm.
and then stopped the one guy and then shot. Brrr. Like that whole thing, I was just like, fuck yeah,
That was the best.
it's so cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then we'll go to Aaron about this. How did you? I might have something to say about this, but how did you feel about Crossbones in this movie? I mean, that's your villain for Captain America to fight.
Yeah. I wish that would have been like the villain,
Mm-hmm.
and it would have been all about beating him. That would have been a cool villain. Now
Yeah.
he's just gone.
I felt like he was like,
It's like, here's Crossbones, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. He's dead. What?
Yeah, it kind of felt like they
did he die? He died?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he hit the button.
was
went
wearing-
to blow,
oh, yeah,
and
he
the
blew up.
Scarlet Witch
Vest.
was
I remember.
"Shh."
yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
threw him up. I'm assuming since 11 other people died, he probably died
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
But like that's the kind of thing I would like to see is Captain America
Could be
having
more
to stop like that guy and his mercenaries.
Yeah.
And they're trying to stop them from doing some kind of terrible feat.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen like at some point like how'd they get the information? Where'd they come from that? What if Captain America had his little band and we saw, the first half of all that
Sure.
leading up to them defeating
Yeah.
Crossbones. Maybe they ran across him before. How'd they know he was there? That kind of stuff I'd like to see at some point, but
I did enjoy. I enjoyed Crossbones. I kind of liked the design, and didn't like the design at the same time. He felt like a little bit too big and cumbersome.
I liked him better when he took off the gas mask.
That was cool. I did like that. I feel like some casual fans might confuse him with Punisher. A
Yeah.
little bit.
For that to happen, be like, oh, Crossbones coming, and then in the first 15, 20 minutes, he's just gone? Like,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The same thing with Batroc? Is that his name?
Batroc the Leaper. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in,
Yeah.
he could have been something maybe a little bit more, but
Well,
he was just,
yeah. He was played by
wasn't it an MMA
an
fighter?
MMA fighter. What's his
I forget
name?
his
Who's the
name.
French guy? Jean-Luc Picard. I'm too tired for this shit. On screen. Ooh. Okay.
But no, like, he could have been something more too, Like,
Yeah.
there's all these villains that I feel like just, if you want to tell a big political story, get rid of these, get rid of these.
Yeah.
Ever since the first Captain America movie, Captain America hasn't had his own movie,
I get what you're saying because Winter Soldier, he kind of joins up with some other.
Yeah, well, he had
people
Falcon and he had Black Widow
Yeah.
and stuff working
But I
with
mean,
them. and this
even
one
though
he had-
you can say that this is a Avengers 2.5 movie or an apology for Ultron a little bit sometimes, I feel like it's still very much a Captain America movie.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, it follows him more than anyone else, I'd say.
Yeah.
But still, I was just like, I'd love to see the Crossbones like before.
Yeah.
Even if he was working with his team, I want to see more of like that villain didn't live up to me,
I
That
agree.
villain could have been more, and
Yeah.
he wasn't.
I think the one thing people would really like right now for us to say is, after having seen the movie, are you Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
Team Cap.
Yeah?
I'm still Team Cap.
I started Team Cap, and I still agree with what he was doing.
Okay.
I mean, I felt that
Was not a very interesting question, because We're all in agreement.
Yeah.
None of us changed.
No.
I mean,
I get the points of both of them,
Yeah.
but when the talk came down to Captain America and Stark there at the airport, and there was that threat of 5 more super soldiers that had absolutely no control, or could be completely controlled like Bucky,
Yeah.
when that threat was there and Stark just pushed it off like nothing, I'm like, come on, Captain America is not trying to say, hey, fuck you guys. He's
Yeah.
trying to be there for the greater good.
Yeah.
And Tony Stark should know that.
True.
And that kind of made me upset. Now, the later part with the mother-father thing that I didn't expect to happen, it made me feel more for Tony.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was
But-
crazy.
I mean, at the same time, Bucky wasn't in control the whole time, and it's... I understand it was tough on him, but I was like, I understand what he's doing with there, and I was really conflicted on who I wanted to win that fight there, too, because I'm just like, I get you, Tony, but I don't want you to kill anybody.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
please don't kill Captain America.
if he would have won, he would have killed someone.
And I don't think Cap
Yeah.
would have gone through
Cap-
with it. Like, if he was still standing, he wouldn't let Bucky die, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the only way for Bucky to die would have been to lose Captain America, too.
Yeah.
I didn't, even all the little hints and stuff, like, I didn't see that coming with all that stuff happening.
Yeah.
Until they were in that room, and it showed that road, and he's like, I know that road. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. That was the same time that I got it too.
Like,
I leaned
did
over to
you
Eric.
guys
You
didn't
know
see
what?
it at all,
I didn't
right?
see it at all.
I didn't see it
You know
coming.
why I didn't see it at all? Because the Stark should have been driving a much nicer car.
That was the thing. I thought it was like.
Now, I guess with that, I think they were going on like a mission thing, right?
Okay.
It may have been kind of undercovery rather than like some rich supercar driving through the forest.
Well, I get that, but like, why did Henry
Howard?
or Howard? Why did he go himself? And also, why did he take his wife?
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense.
To carry 5 more super soldier serums and stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, we know that
Like, if he knew it was a
Howard
dangerous
was involved
mission.
in the thing, right?
Yeah.
He was part of the team that...
they were the first parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
They formed S.H.I.E.L.D. in the beginning. Yeah.
So,
So maybe he was taking it upon himself to make sure it got to where it was needing to go and
Mhm.
whatnot, and... I don't know.
but it still doesn't make sense. There was no lead up or no like foreseeable hints. Like the things that make sense after you see it, before you see it, don't make any sense at all. Where you couldn't possibly
Where you would have
piece
been
it
like,
together.
oh, that's this. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Unless in that little memory thing he did when they were leaving, if you saw out the window them get into that car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that would have just been a little... I mean, maybe... I don't think there was a window there, but I think that could have just maybe
Yeah.
tied it together enough.
Yeah.
You know?
But kind of speaking on that of like the whole idea of like why are they doing this until you find out why. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Were the location title cards?
I did not like those. Did you?
I didn't at first, and then it said Queens, and I was like, oh.
yeah.
I was like, worth it because it's Spider-Man. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
the only fucking idiot in the theater, tired, going, like, "Yay, Queens!" And everybody around me is like, "What's he doing?" I'm like, "Who's Spider-Man? Spider-Man in this?" By the
yeah.
way, Spider-Man was in this movie.
On the title card
Title
things,
card.
I hated that. I wish they would have just been smaller by at least
Yeah.
half the size or something. I don't
They
know.
I-
felt
I-
a little oversized.
I hated the first one, but once it started happening, I was like, okay, that's just the theme. And then when they did the Queens thing, it made sense to me.
It made sense.
Yeah, it's like you're supposed to be like, why are they doing? Like it would be weird if it was like lower third graphic, Queens.
They could have kept their lower third graphic, but
Yeah, but some people might not have missed. I don't know. Honestly, I loved it only because of my reaction to it being Queens and me being like, oh, Queen, and then that. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
but
It did kind of help you track like where you were in the world.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like you definitely couldn't have guessed they were in
Yeah.
Vienna at one point and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
which it was
other
good
than,
they did
like,
that.
accent. Yeah.
it was an interesting style choice and one that I felt the need to write down.
I
So
thought it was huge.
Yes.
It was huge, but
All right,
but after the reveal, I didn't mind
Yeah.
it so much.
A couple of things have changed for some of the background characters. One, Thunderbolt Ross has gone from being a general to Secretary of State. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And Peggy Carter went from being alive to dead.
yeah.
Yeah, that was sad.
Which I think that though was just it was a big moment to try to make sure Captain America didn't sign and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that whole speech that Sharon gave was about standing your ground as a tree. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, that there, I fell asleep for. because as you were saying that, I was like, oh yeah, she was talking, and then you were saying stand around. I'm like, I don't remember that.
Yeah. Her big speech was talking about like how did your aunt, like how my aunt came to be so diplomatic and this and that and did all the stuff she did. And she said part of it was with being a woman and yada yada. She's like, you need to stand your ground for what you believe in and make sure you're pursuing it.
Yeah.
And basically just do what you believe in. And when Captain America was just sitting there listening to that, and then everyone left and he was in there all by himself, and I think Scarlett Johansson came and got him.
Yeah.
And
I gotta watch this movie. It sounds really good.
And at that point, I'm like, he's not going to sign anything.
Yeah.
This is he already doesn't believe in it enough
who
now.
he is.
This is planting
Yeah.
him in place even more.
Yeah.
So it was sad to see her go, but
Yep.
she'll be around in the
She'll be
other
around.
stuff.
Yeah.
Back in time.
Now you can kind of tell where I went in and out at this point because the next thing I have is Martin Freeman's accent.
Martin Freeman.
Oh, yeah,
Hobbit.
that was
Yeah.
a really good,
He did a really good
a
job.
really good.
Yeah.
It felt Chicago, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. And the next thing I have is Motorcycle Trade-Off.
Dude, that
Wasn't
was
that
the
amazing?
best
Motorcycle
scene.
trade-off.
It's whenever the motorcycle's coming and he, like...
Who's he?
It was Bucky.
Was it in the
And-
tunnel?
In the tunnel.
It was just after the tunnel where.
I'm wondering if... Because I had my kids with me. And
It was
Coulson... Well, no, I didn't fall asleep, but at one point, Coulson...
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
Coulson, you can sit on my lap. But I guess he started crying about his eyes, and I thought it was because he had popcorn and rubbed his eyes and got salt in his eyes. But I guess sometime today, Leon accidentally punched him while spinning around the room like this, and went bam. So like he had to really, and he's been crying about it. So I'm like, no, it's okay, calm down, and like back and forth trying to take it. So there was parts shortly after that where Melanie took him and they were going to the bathroom and stuff, and I was just, I'm gonna watch a movie. So I missed.
Whatever it was, I can't remember exactly. Calvin can.
The motorcycle was coming towards Bucky, and he jumped and he grabbed the handlebar, and he swung around, and him and the bike swung around. The rider flew off.
Yeah, the rider flies off
and
he spins it around.
Spun around, and he landed on it, and then just took off.
Like, just imagine a motorcycle coming and you being like,
yeah, it was basically like Legolas on the horse, but with a motorcycle, and he turned it around midair.
That's cool. I missed it. So
But
that's how we got
was
on the bike.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was watching it like this. I was like, oh.
Write something down quick. Now.
The thing I remember with that little chase there was, he was on his bike, and then was it Iron Man or War Machine or something like that blew up the ceiling, or Falcon, whoever blew up the tunnel thing.
Yeah.
And it started to fall, and then Bucky like kind of crashed his bike.
Yeah.
And then Black Panther was like jumping through and hitting him, and then Captain America comes driving through, and he just turns.
Yeah, he
and just
slides the
steps
car
out and starts running.
Yeah,
and then the car starts.
I couldn't
going,
believe
blah,
that.
blah,
Like,
blah. Like,
It's like he felt like James Bond and Red Retired Extremely Dangerous, where Bruce Willis like spins a Porsche around, or whatever that car was, and he just steps out and he's shooting. It was amazing.
But he just stepped out, and then this car's going boom, boom. Like, what the, you're making more shit coming from this. Quit.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, it's like he was just running, like, it's like using the minimum of the car, just keep running fast.
Yeah.
It's like he's like,
It was, I really enjoyed that whole, like, the beginning of the tunnel sequence, where they were all running, and, I mean, they're enhanced and whatever, but they're passing cars. That was amazing. Like,
yeah.
it was so believable. You know, you could tell their stride and everything was much longer, but it didn't look like they were like speedsters or anything like that.
No,
it looked good.
Well, Captain America can run pretty fast.
Yeah.
He did in the first movie.
Yeah,
like right after the whole thing happened.
I mean, they always said that Captain America is like he could win he win gold in every Olympic thing. But the Russo brothers have certainly powered him up a lot because he's like kicking trucks and shit.
Yeah, and
he did slide that one truck. Yeah,
but he does have super strength.
No, he does, just not super strength.
No, Hulk.
It's like
or Thor.
I imagine it's like 3 or 4 times as strong as a regular person.
I'd say probably more than that.
I don't know.
I give it 5 times.
Maybe. I don't know.
Just a strong man.
Fuck that, no, I'm stupid.
Black Panther there. Now, I don't know a ton about him, but he seemed like he was running really fast. Is he enhanced at all? Is it just he's a good warrior? He's just like his suit is awesome. Like the vibranium suit was cool, and I love the retractable claws. that they did.
Like, I kind of felt like he was partially enhanced, and it was partially like a movement-enhancing exosuit, too. Like, the fact that it was made out of vibranium
yeah.
and stuff like that, it kind of felt like it could be, but I don't know. Because he was... There was one scene where he was fighting without his suit, right?
Yeah, he was fighting
in
Winter Soldier.
The Bucky,
Yeah.
after he got mined.
And he was keeping up
Yes.
then. I mean, he was taking the punches like a champ.
I have to admit, I don't know a whole lot about Black Panther, but from what I understand, you know, these guys are the royalty of Wakanda.
Yeah.
Wakanda is rich because of vibranium, and the Black Panther, like, mythos or the like passing down from generation to generation must come with, you know, training and exercises and.
Well, he said too at one point that the Black Panther was the protector of Wakanda and went from warrior to warrior.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily like the king, right?
Oh no!
I kinda
I
felt like
meant
that-
Black Panther being like a Batman kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
And then
I kinda
also
felt like it was
he's
like
Prince.
a Zorro kind of feel.
Yeah, and then also he's a king now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he
but that's
said,
separate.
because he had that comment where he was like, because of you, I am now both, or because of him, I'm
Yeah.
now both.
Yeah.
But I was like, isn't he like supposed to be the king of Wakanda? And whenever they first showed the one guy as the king of Wakanda, I'm like, I can't fucking be Black Panther, because I didn't like look up like who all, like, I'd heard names, but I never looked up like who they were, what they looked like, what they've been in. Same thing with Tom Holland, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I didn't know what he really looked like.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't either.
So, like, I wasn't sure what to really expect. So whenever they were like, the king of Wakanda, I'm like, no. But then when the bomb blew up, Eric, you might just remember this part. When that bomb blew up at the UN thing, when he was looking outside, and then he was running towards his dad, and I swear he, like, right before it, like, kind of blew up and everything went to hell, he, like, did a jump, kind of cartwheely thing, like, trying to jump towards him, but it kind of cut before that happened, and you had the explosion. I'm
There
like,
was
that looked pretty acrobatic.
there
Yeah.
was a huge jump. He jumped like 15 feet.
The dad did or
No,
Okay.
No.
because
his son.
I gotta admit, the only thing I remember is a giant explosion and windows breaking and stuff.
It's probably just
I did
because
not.
you, like,
I
jolted away.
was because suddenly into my world there was Black Panther, like suddenly, and I'm like, what the fuck's he doing?
It'd be funny.
And then he said
Yeah.
like, you know, killed my father or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's why.
It'd be funny.
Uh,
The last thing he really saw was that part where, like, he jumps, and then the next thing he sees is Black Panther going down the tunnel, and it's like, whoa.
That
Yeah.
would be a cool segue.
Oh
But,
man,
uh,
I'm so disappointed in myself. But you know,
It's-
it's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. But that, I just remember when that happened, like, that's got to be Black Panther then.
Yeah.
Like, I'm positive.
Yeah.
But
It,
I thought
uh,
it was cool, though. I liked him.
Yeah, it was cool. There was, like, they paid really special attention to making sure that you noticed him putting on his father's ring. There was also another scene when he was fighting Bucky that he, like, got his arm and he locked it, and
Yes, I remember that.
he had
Yeah.
he had his ring on that hand, and it was like it repulsed it or something, like magnetic
Oh, That's
repulsion.
what that was.
I wasn't,
I
is that what
didn't-
happened?
I didn't know what that was.
Did it make a noise or anything?
It was like like that. I figured it's
See, I saw that happening.
it's got to
and-
be like a vibranium
And at
ring.
the same time, I had, like, Coulson doing something at that time, and I was trying to pay attention. And I saw that, I'm like, what was that? Was he, like, trying to pull out his claws and they weren't there? Like,
Yeah.
what happened there? So I'm not
Yeah.
sure what that was either.
Okay.
I remember that, though, because I remember being like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Well, either way, I'm super excited about it. We now know that Captain and his team are being housed in Wakanda,
Yeah.
which is
The
interesting.
giant Black Panther.
You guys have anything else to say
That
about Black?
Obsidian Panther was
Yeah, that's pretty
badass.
It was.
I saw that, coming out of the
Mhm.
side pan, and I was like,
You-
oh
you
my gosh!
was.
And I leaned over to Eric. He's like, Obsidian Panther is
Yeah.
badass.
I was wondering what they were going to show. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
where are they going?
Yeah.
Jungle, fog. Oh, fuck! Well, I did like him kind of, like, at the end, he was kind of tying things together when he was talking to that guy. Because Eric, you know about themes. Well, he was talking about how, like, that guy that was causing everything was driven by vengeance.
Yeah.
They are now driven by vengeance.
Mhm.
He doesn't want vengeance to control him anymore. And then he also saved the guy's life who,
Yeah.
was killed his father.
Yeah.
So I thought that little thing of him kind of coming to and, like, he's kind of been like, he was avenging everything and being very vengeful to begin with, but it kind of gave him more of a hero aspect, I guess.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
it kind of, I don't know, it put things in perspective for him to where, we don't have these powers to right all of the wrongs in the way that we want to right them.
Mhm.
You know, we shouldn't take law into our own hands, and I think that kind of tempers the whole storyline too.
Yeah.
Of, you know, putting restrictions on the Avengers' movements and their powers and stuff like that.
Well, it's why Captain America didn't want to join in, because he was like, you know, governments have agendas,
Yeah,
and sometimes we don't want to follow those agendas, you know?
yeah,
Which makes sense. But the people are also fucking scared of these people.
yeah.
So, I mean,
I saw where they were coming from, but I could tell by the Secretary of State's his demeanor and his attitude and the things he was saying. I knew that it was going to turn the way it did with Iron Man.
Yeah.
With Tony, because they were looking for somebody to point fingers at, and when they got all the paperwork and they got their claws into him, then they couldn't do anything. Not without them having to, you know, breathing down their necks and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of felt that was the way it was going from the beginning. That's why I was team captain.
Sure.
But after this, like, all of his actions were for friendship.
Yeah.
And Tony thought that he was doing it because he wanted to be a rebel, or, you know, he didn't want to have government on his back or whatever.
Well, I would say it came from a place of extreme guilt as well.
Yeah.
well, yeah, because that kid was a big turning point, I think, for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it's all friendship for Cap, because I think there at the airport, if it wouldn't have been for the possibility of these other terrible super soldier guys, tearing down a whole government or whatever they were going to do,
Yeah.
I think he would have been like, Bucky, let's turn ourselves in and not cause a big fight and do all this stuff. Because I don't think, Captain didn't want to do that, but he was trying to stop something that could have been a greater evil. So
Yeah. I mean, after he and Wilson, like, stopped Bucky and they took him in, it's like they were totally compliant. But after they saw what was happening in the interrogation room with the Count
Zemo. Baron
Zemo, after they saw what was going on there, they knew there was more to it.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't just trying to slow Bucky down to where they could catch him and not kill him.
Yeah.
So from there on, it was trying to find the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Who was Wilson?
Sam Wilson.
Okay.
I can't remember his first name.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, Wilson.
And speaking of Baron Zemo, I mean, for the scenes that I did see, I do feel like he might not have been necessarily needed in this movie. They could have found a good reason to get these guys at odds that wasn't like with this kind of strange, non-threatening, almost bad guy.
Yeah.
So
I was talking with someone earlier today, and talking about how I wish they would have done Civil War. This kind of covers Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a little bit with what's going on there. So
Yeah.
I was trying to go too crazy in case people haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or not caught up, but with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., with what all's going on right now,
sure,
they could easily have some stuff going on where there's some kind of explosion
absolutely,
or something like that causes a big event. Just like they had Sokovia.
I know.
But I pictured a mix of two things. One was in Flash just recently, there was something involving a news camera.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, if something like that happened with what's going on in S.H.I.E.L.D., that they just make that another big global event, and now we're like, we need to find all these superheroes and stuff and bring it back into what Civil War was. This was like a Civil War thing, but it wasn't to the scale of what I'm sure a lot of people were expecting and wanting. You know, it was kind of like a battle between the Avengers, you know?
Yeah.
Are you guys okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and segue. Yes, those are some things that we probably would have all wanted to see, but maybe something we weren't expecting to see, and totally saw was that airport scene, and I want to talk about that by talking about Spidey first.
Okay, good. I want to talk about Spider-Man first then.
Yeah. Now, of course, it says Queens. And I go fucking nerd like, hey, it's Queens. He's from Brooklyn. That was a sweet moment when he's like, Queens, Brooklyn.
Yeah, I like that.
I was just like, I don't know why. I think it's because I was so fucking tired, but I was like, that's fucking beautiful.
I love it. He's like, you got heart, kid.
Yeah.
Where you from? And that was, that whole part was awesome. I love that. It gave me hope for like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But
maybe want to support like firefighters and stuff. I don't know.
I don't know stupidly, because it gave me a good feeling when I was watching the movie. When we get there, my kids are there. Coulson has on his Hulk hands, which he's not in the movie, but whatever. He wanted them. They have on the Captain America shirts, and they're both wearing Spider-Man hats. And I was like, why are they wearing Spider-Man hats? I didn't even think about it.
You didn't think about
I
Spider-Man?
didn't think about
this?
it at all. I didn't. I just and then like I'm watching the movie. We're sitting down. Cole's like, "That's a big TV." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And it gets to the part.
Cute.
It gets to the part where like, you know anybody? He's like, "Yeah, he's downstairs." I do too. And they're like, "Where?" And then it jumps to Queens. I'm like, "Oh, a guy carrying a DVD player. Like, what? Is this Paul Rudd? Like, is he breaking into something? Is he playing something? Who is this? What's going on?"
Peter.
And then I'm like, "Huh? Wait, he's a kid." Like, Parker, wow! I'm supposed to press Spider-Man on this! I'm just like, stupidly,
Wow.
you're an idiot, Aaron!
Wow. Aaron, you got to watch the trailer on our channel,
Oh my
and
god!
you got the non-spoiler reaction in the
Like,
movie.
I don't know why. I don't know
That's
what
like
was,
a 1 in a million,
yeah,
dude.
I don't know
Never
what was,
gonna happen again.
I don't know what was in my head that I was just like, the fucking Peter Parker, I forgot!
my
I mean, what
gosh.
the fuck? I couldn't get that. In my delirious state I was in, if I see Queens, I'm like, Spider-Man! But you're like, what the fuck's this kid?
Who's this? What's going on?
Fucking-
My
Did you
first-
say he had a DVD player?
he was
Like,
carrying? Yeah, he was carrying like a DVD
Not a
player.
CD
or something.
player, DVD
No,
player.
I thought it was DVD. I don't remember. What it
Okay.
was.
It's a DVD player.
I thought
he said
it-
it was a DVD
was it
player
a
in the
DVD
movie.
player?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I found it in the trash.
Alright.
But
It's
my
a perfect DVD player. I did an algebra test, aced it,
Yeah.
nailed it. Whatever
My
he said.
first thought when I saw that was, well, this is Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, doing some kind of, like, shifty stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know how he was, like, cable guy and whatnot? I thought it was something like that.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's
Like-
amazing, Aaron.
Now, I gotta say, I love that we have a Peter... This is by far my favorite Peter Parker. I mean,
He's a
I love
kid.
the other two.
He's a kid.
He's
Like he's
awesome.
legitimately
Like, he doesn't
And
look
he
like
has a Brooklyn accent.
yeah,
That went so much... Or I guess, I don't know.
Queen's accent.
Queen's
I think
accent.
it's... He has a New York
Yorker
accent.
accent.
He has a New York accent, and that just goes so much more... Felt so much more real to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not like a 27-year-old playing a 17-year-old or anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He looks
He's
like
not
this.
ashamed.
I don't know how old he is, but damn, he looked.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is
He,
Peter
he
Parker.
legitimately looked like he was
Using-
16.
He has nothing, using all this retro stuff, and I felt like I wanted to cry when Tony was like, "Why? What's your remote? Why are you doing this?"
Yeah.
And without saying about Ben and with great power comes great responsibility or anything, like I knew what he was
Yeah.
talking about, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah. I'm so glad we don't have to retread like that ground, which is great ground.
Yeah,
but we
he's
don't
been
need
in
to
it
do
for 6 months.
6 months.
He had a crappy ass costume with
Crappy ass
sunglasses,
costume, but he's still awesome. He was hitting things at 60 miles an hour.
catching
and
the car.
catching a car. I do feel like he was used. You know, like Tony just like, I heard about, there's this kid I've seen on the internet. Let's go get him.
But
Yeah.
he gave him some shit.
No, he did.
He did.
But he did put a young boy into danger.
Yeah, but
But he's a Spider-Man.
at the same time, I don't think he was expecting the Hawkeye and
True.
Ant-Man and
Yeah.
Definitely
No.
wasn't expecting
Now,
Giant Man.
yeah. Ant-Man, you probably should have expected. Giant Man, no. That was awesome. The entire sequence was awesome. It was definitely the best action sequence in the MCU, but I'll venture out to say maybe one of the best action scenes ever.
Like,
I mean,
as
like-
far as I'm concerned, it's on
It's
the top.
at
of the
least
list.
top 10.
At
I mean,
least.
there's some stuff in The Matrix that's pretty awesome.
yeah.
Yeah,
There was some
But
stuff in this that was pretty
There was some
fucking
stuff
cool.
in this, like...
You know what one of my favorite parts, like, I won't say my favorite, but one of my favorite parts is, all right, here, throw this at this.
Yes.
Ready? And
Yeah.
throw it.
Oh
And he's
my
like,
God.
"Ah!" And then Warmer's like, fuck!
are you kidding me?
I thought that was a water truck.
That was awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
thought that was a water truck.
I love it.
I mean,
That was so good.
As little bit that they used Spider-Man and Ant-Man
Yeah.
in this, it was so awesome.
it was so
Yeah.
awesome, and it was so integral. It was so needed, because there were a couple points in here where I'm like, well, fuck, this is Batman v Superman. You know, I had a laugh or two, you know?
Yeah.
And then Paul Rudd comes in and just saves the day. Everything he says, I'm just tiredly chuckling.
Yeah, well, even Tom Holland.
Tom Holland as well.
Oh,
did a really good
I
job.
mean, Paul Rudd was like, I'm still shaking your hand.
Yeah.
Like you're Captain America.
Yeah.
I know you too. But you know, like
Yeah.
that was awesome. But
Oh, I know you. You're cool too.
yeah,
But,
but I
yeah.
loved Spider-Man constantly, like, cause he was like so excited for
Yeah.
one that he was like, you guys are superheroes, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he was beating the crap out of him, but he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, you're these people. I love you guys." But he was still like,
Like,
You have the right to remain silent.
Yeah. He's like,
He was
webbing
so
him.
gung ho.
I loved it. I enjoyed Spider-Man so much.
Now, my only bad thing about Spider-Man is I definitely felt like out of everybody in those lineups and all the shots we saw, he looked like he didn't belong the most.
That's because they CGI'd him and everything.
He's very... There's something about the way they did the head and the face that is, to me, obviously CGI.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that you have to do that sometimes, but when you have him, like, full screen, really big up there, super close up, right next to real people, you gotta make a better effort, I felt.
Yeah.
Either that or just make a good mask.
I mean, if you're looking at it, though, I think they just kind of messed with the CGI there because the only real person on his side was fucking Black Widow. Everyone else
That's
was
true.
pretty much
Everybody
CGI.
else
Yeah.
was CGI.
I mean,
yeah, I suppose. I mean,
Vision might have been a real guy, I guess, with makeup.
No, Vision's makeup.
But
Absolutely.
besides those two, you had War Machine.
Yeah.
Then you had Iron Man.
Well, you gotta remember, too, with War Machine, they usually do have some real pieces of metal, and then it's augmented. Like, when they're having, like, close-ups and stuff, they'll usually wear, like the shoulder pads and the chest and, like, the beginnings of the helmet.
Oh, okay.
You know?
To me, like, when they did it, like, it looked like CGI. Real people.
Yeah,
Like,
a
you know
little
what I mean? Like, that's
I just felt like there was something about Spider-Man's design or lighting or colors that just looked like amazing CGI, but never, to me, really looked super real, except for the animation, which was flawless.
I mean,
The
part of
animation was great.
yeah.
part of that may be too seeing the trailers and seeing those exact same shots
Yeah.
without him there,
Yeah.
and then being like, oh, well,
That's
guess
true.
I guess they put him in there
That's a good.
Yeah.
That's
You
that's
know?
also correct.
because we've seen that running at him shot in every trailer they've had.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's never been there in the front running
Nope.
around, you know. So,
I noticed that immediately too.
I'm
I
like,
gotta
hey.
say, like during that scene, like whenever you realize this was happening, and I know that this stuff's gonna be happening because it's from the trailer. I went from tired to like stood up and I was like I was like, don't sleep. It was great.
I love the whole like, who the hell's this guy? Everyone's gotta have a gimmick.
Yeah, that was funny.
Okay, does anybody have any hidden special powers?
Yeah, that was.
That would be great.
One thing I want to point out that I never expected to like about this movie was the chemistry of
Bucky?
of
Bucky
Bucky
and Falcon.
and Falcon.
Yeah.
Dude, I was
Their
gonna say
scenes
with
were
that.
so great,
That
and
was-
they played off each other in a way that I just didn't expect, and was so surprised by.
Like you're talking about the
car
scene
Yeah.
under the underpass with Agent 13.
Yeah.
And can you move your seat up?
No.
No.
And then when they look back and they're both independently, not together, independently because they're both his best buds.
I love how
But they're not best buds.
That's what it is. It's like, hey, I'm the old best friend of
Yeah.
this guy, and we're good. Well, I'm the newer best friend of this guy.
Yeah.
Like, well, I hate you guys.
Which that would mean that you guys would probably make really good best friends.
Yeah.
You know? That's how me and Shannon know each other for 15 years.
Mhm.
We were each best friends with another guy, and then now we don't want to hang out with that guy anymore, but we're best friends. You know? It's like if Cap just took off and they just hung out together.
yeah.
Anyway,
And then I love them. The pairing off of the fights,
yes, that
whole thing,
the
like
different choices.
Spider-Man against Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Yeah.
I thought that worked pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't feel like either one was being underutilized or
Yeah.
anything. It just felt like it was flowing. And then the other fights with each one, it all felt like everything
Now-
was working.
Within that, there's always two things I'm looking at to be like, how are they doing? How are they hiding this? And that's who's Black Widow fighting, who's Hawkeye fighting. But the Hawkeye fight, and his bow turns into a fucking bow staff.
That was amazing.
That was amazing.
I saw that, I'm like, oh my
I
gosh.
know.
Oliver Queen needs that.
I know. I wrote down staff, bow. I was so excited. But, oh my gosh, that was so cool. And I felt like there was no part where I felt like Black Widow was she should die here. She
No.
got beaten real bad.
I mean, she got her
They
ass
kept her
kicked
moving.
at some times
Yeah.
and stuff, but it worked out.
Yeah,
but then
that
someone
felt
saved
good.
her. You know,
Yeah, I like the scene between Black Widow and Hawkeye. It's like, we're still friends, right?
Yeah.
And
Depends
they're
how
like,
hard you hit me.
they're fighting and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And
Scarlet Witch.
Black Widow gets Hawkeye in a bind, and then Scarlet Witch just peels her off and throws her into a truck. You're
Yeah.
pulling your punches.
Yes.
And
I like
she's-
that.
Dang. She's not messing around.
I also, very much enjoyed Scarlet Witch in a way I never enjoyed in Avengers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really liked. She's way more confident, of course, but
Yeah.
the way that they're visualizing her power, I'm really liking now. When I first saw her, I'm like, okay, red shit comes out, But now it's like it feels more three-dimensional. It feels more real to me.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I thought it felt really good. She is powerful as fuck, though,
Yeah,
right?
She
Right?
took Vision down, man.
She took him down and kept taking him down.
I thought
Like, he
Vision
went
was
through
probably
30
the
floors.
most powerful one, but I think Scarlet Witch is.
I mean,
mean,
I
yeah.
think that if he tried with that gem in his head, he could probably
maybe
do
that's
some
part
stuff.
of it too. You could
Yeah.
definitely notice a
Like-
little,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You put and with,
Well,
with the,
we-
and you,
We don't know if he has the.
Well-
does he have that? Oh shit! She might like that.
Well, he was saying like, his body is all like manufactured and synthetic
Well,
and stuff.
he can make his own body.
Yeah.
He made a cape.
Yeah.
He just makes up.
He saw
He
Thor.
can make
and-
his
and-
own body.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yes, he
Yeah.
can. Remember in Age of Ultron when
Jeez.
he appears, he doesn't have like. He's
He's
naked.
Just a body.
Oh yeah.
And then when
And
he sees himself, he turns like some parts green, and then he sees Thor with his cape, and he goes, and just makes a cape.
Yeah.
And you just.
Yeah, that's what he did.
I forgot about that
Yeah.
scene where he just makes
It's
the
very
cape because
subtle.
he thought it was cool.
You can just glance right over it if you're
Yeah.
not paying attention.
Yeah.
But so he could. He do whatever he wants.
But I think Scarlet Witch
In
in
3
that
discs.
scene had the advantage because Vision alluded before that he doesn't fully understand the power
Yeah.
of the gem, and he can't fully control it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was
But-
partially him not expecting her to do that,
Sure.
and also him not having full faculty of his, or not having
Sure.
full control of his.
I think part of that may have been kind of alluded to in this one because the whole shooting War Machine thing, and then their conversation later where he was like, I got distracted, and
Well,
Tony
I
Stark was
missed
like,
the conversation.
well,
but I
Tony
remember
Stark, he was like, so what happened? He's like, I'm sorry, I got distracted, and Tony's like, I thought you couldn't do that.
that. Yeah.
He's like he couldn't be distracted, with that
Yeah.
Mind Stone. Maybe he does what he needs to do.
Fucking
Shit, you Calvin, everyone on mute
Not me,
about.
I turned mine off.
Well, I had left mine off.
Yeah, I owe you 2 slaps for that Scarlet Witch, by the way.
No, you don't. You
Those.
slap me, I slap you back.
Okay.
But that
go-
might have kind of covered that a little bit of like maybe he's
Yeah.
getting a little bit more human-y,
Yeah.
Well, he was
Plus
like,
that love thing with Scarlet Witch.
yeah. I mean, he was trying to make her. What was it? Paprikan or yeah, it was Paprikan.
Paprika, yeah. Get the little pinch of paprika.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
A pinch?
What is it?
a
Pinch?
pinch. So he just takes like that. And, yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. Like he was like keeping her there, but he was also like trying to lift her spirits.
Yeah.
And,
He very much has a Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen type feel, I feel like.
Really?
Big blue guy,
That's
yeah,
Like, it's almost as if
Yeah.
he's, like, entertaining this woman, you know?
I
And he's
definitely
like-
got that vibe.
I feel like he has, like, I have bigger things I could be thinking about, but I kind of like her, so
Yeah.
whatever. Because Dr. Manhattan in Watchmen, he splits himself into 3 different people,
okay.
and so he's having like a threesome with his girl while he's in his laboratory studying.
yeah.
And she finds out, what are you doing out here? He's like, well, I don't. He's growing less and less human-like every day.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of that a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's Paul.
Whereas I feel Vision is trying to become a little more human.
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah.
That's Paul Bentley. That is
Paul Bentley, yes.
Yeah.
I just watched a movie with him in it and Harrison Ford.
Oh,
Firewall.
Firewall. Yeah, I just watched that the
Yeah.
other week too.
And I was like, this guy looks familiar. Who is
Yeah.
he? And then I looked-
I recognized
Oh,
his
he's
voice.
Vision!
I recognized his voice.
and
but
Jarvis.
yeah, he's also the roommate in A Beautiful Mind
Mm-hmm.
with Russell
And
Crowe.
one of my... it's a really underrated movie. There's a movie called Priest that he stars in, which is based off a Korean comic book
Really?
that, like, is nothing like the comic book, but the characters in the movie, they're like... I guess I can only call them Jedi, but like Dark Jedi, but
Okay.
they're priests that like hunt like monsters and stuff.
Hmm.
But they're like amazing swordsmen and stuff like that. But he plays the main character, and I really enjoyed it. They had this amazing sword fight in the end on a train,
Really?
like on top of a train, and
called-
they have like powers and shit. You know,
cool.
It's called Priest.
it's called Priest. Yeah,
Have to
check that out. It's pretty cool. He's like a warrior priest.
Anyway, Vision.
One thing I would say with this like, whole airport scene and stuff, and the movie in general,
Mhm.
is that the fighting in it, there's just some things they did that we haven't seen in Marvel before, I think.
No.
I
Yeah.
loved the shield uses.
Yes.
There was one moment in the beginning when he did like a basketball drop thing.
Yep.
Remember that? It was like,
Yep.
I'm like, ooh, I
like
like
that.
that. Because usually he just chucks it like this, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
There was one part where didn't he like cover grenades or something? with
Yes.
it?
Yeah,
That
he
was-
kicked
that was
a
in
flashbang
your-
over
cool
to him.
idea.
that was in your kind of.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, there was a grenade. He's just like, thunk.
Yep.
I'm like, oh,
What a cool idea.
sweet. That was awesome too. And
Yeah.
then I also love Spidey being like, that doesn't abide by any physics.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love that.
Spidey's
Because
all-
I really like that scene because Captain America threw his shield straight up in the air
Mhm.
and cut Spidey's web,
Yeah.
and then it came straight back down to the same spot, and he caught
Well,
it.
when you compare this to earlier movies, and like First Avenger, it's like, yeah, how's he doing that? But after Age of Ultron, he kind of has this like magnetic callback now.
Yeah, but he threw
Yeah.
it hard.
I know.
It cut
It's
Spidey's
a comic
web.
book.
Okay.
You know, like
Does he still have that though? Because there was times that I felt like the shield went flying into place, and he's
I
like,
don't
"Oh
know.
man, where'd it go?" You know what I mean?
I'm not always sure. Maybe the Russo brothers didn't like that.
I don't know.
I don't know. I watched a interview with them here last week or something like that, and they were saying like, I think one of our strengths is that Captain America was never our favorite hero. We always thought like, oh, he's kind of corny and that kind of stuff, and he's a super soldier, but he fights with a shield. What are you gonna do to make that interesting? So when they get a hold of it,
Okay.
they get a hold of it, and they're like, man, what the hell are we gonna do with this? And they gotta be creative, and that's where the best ideas come from.
Yeah.
So I really, really enjoyed that.
Well, I loved because I was thinking about this whenever things were happening, and Captain America would always go,
Yeah.
you know, and all this stuff would deflect and whatnot. And then when Spidey was fighting him, he was like, Tony told me a few things. He's like, yeah, I was like, what? One, aim for your feet.
Yeah,
like
I
that
like
kind
that.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I liked that kind of stuff
Mhm.
and things that they're like, hey, here's how you. Because I'm like, just shoot him in the feet. I've learned that from Siege.
Right?
Yes.
I know. I really like the siege on Bucky's apartment. Like that whole scene of going down through the stairwell and everything.
Oh yeah.
That was, I thought that was really enjoyable.
That's
Where,
what
like-
that meant.
When he jumped on the guy that was on the rope and he swung across the stairs, that
Yeah.
I wrote GoPro. I don't know if they filmed it with a GoPro, but I saw a shot of the making of this movie.
okay.
And do you guys remember the shot where Bucky's running and he jumps off the balcony and the camera follows down with him?
Yeah.
Right? They had a cameraman, like they're on a green screen set, a huge green screen with a 12-foot fall. The cameraman's running behind him. He jumps, and the cameraman jumps behind him.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is real in-set footage of Bucky jumping and landing 12 feet down. The
Dang.
cameraman just fucking jumps, and they have him on a wire, of course. So he jumps and he goes like,
With the GoPro?
it's not a GoPro, it's a real camera. I wrote
Oh.
GoPro, try to, gotta try and
Try
write
to
fast,
remind you,
I was like,
yeah.
camera, that's on the move. GoPro.
Gotcha.
But it was one of our subscribers said, like, hey, you guys should react to this. I click it sometimes to be like, okay, what is this thing? Is it going to be a thing that we want to do? And it was like Civil War B-roll, and it had no sound, and it was just like them standing around set going like, And then there was that, showing that. I was like, fuck.
That's cool.
So I was waiting for that,
Wow.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
and we didn't react to it. Nope.
Did you guys expect? There was a moment when they were talking about stuff. He's like, "All right, guys, we're not gonna make it. Some of us are gonna get captured." You know what I mean? And it was like,
Yeah.
we're gonna need a distraction. He's like, "I got one way. I might end up cutting half though." He's like, "Last time I did it was in a lab, and I got a little woozy headed or whatever."
I passed
And
out.
I'm like, "Nuh-uh."
I mean, did you mean, like, as soon as he started saying that, I was like, Chapman.
Well, that's what I'm like,
Yeah.
"Nuh-uh, he's
Yeah.
gonna do it. No, he's gonna do it."
What a convenient time, too.
I
because
love because I saw him running there, and I knew what he was running across
Yeah.
because I've seen those before.
Yeah.
That tread and
Mhm.
everything. It's like, oh my gosh, he's going on one of the
Yeah.
one of the ladders. He's gonna jump off the end of it. He's gonna be super big. I was
It
super
was pretty
excited.
crazy, and it looked wonderful.
It looked
Yeah.
It looked real good. I mean, mainly because you can't see much of his face at all, but even still. What do you feel about his helmet design compared to Ant-Man? Very different, much bigger. I felt like a little more Power Ranger-like to me, but it was not a bad thing.
I liked it.
I
I didn't
liked
really
it.
notice too much of a difference from before. I
Right,
thought it was
did I.
a little.
It
different.
looks a lot more like the comics.
I didn't think it looked too different though.
Yeah.
But enough.
I think that if you really, if you saw him,
Right
if
here,
you saw him like side by side,
like right
you
here
would,
was different, right? I
no,
don't remember-
the whole helmet shape was different.
Oh, really?
The whole helmet actually reminded me of Peter Quill's, like, the thing he wears behind his ear.
Oh yeah,
And
a little bit.
The full steel
Yeah.
thing.
It to me it looked like it was almost half a times as big.
Really?
Yeah, it
Wow.
was pretty big. But like I said, I really liked it. And as Giant Man, it looked awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I really liked how slow he was, because like it makes sense that he would be slower because of inertia and weight and everything like that.
Now, Aaron, are you going to say shouldn't he be weaker?
I was kind of wondering how that should work.
Because we know as he gets
Because
tinier, he gets stronger.
He keeps the same strength, but he's tinier, so you're getting all that strength in a tiny little piece.
Yeah.
Whereas now, when he gets bigger, does he have the same strength, but now it's over all this mass, so he's just like a weaker giant guy?
Well, I mean, he didn't do much.
No, he just was a big distraction. He mainly just grabbed stuff. Hey, no!
Squeak! Squeak, squeak!
The
Yeah.
tiny guy's
my
big
God,
now.
that's
The tiny guy's big now.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So, I don't know, I was curious about that. The one thing I loved, though, was just Spider-Man with him. Number
Yeah.
one was whenever he's like there and you see...
Yeah, that was cool.
I'm like, oh. But then the other thing's like, hey, did you guys ever see that really old movie, Empire Strikes Back?
Oh,
How old
my
is this
God.
kid? I didn't check his card, you know, whatever. And
What a
like,
cool idea, too.
How,
Yeah.
about, how about if we take him out? Remember they spin around circles around
Yeah.
that big
that big
metal
walking
Like,
thing?
as soon as he said Empire Strikes Back, I'm like, oh!
I'm like,
AT-AT.
Go for the legs!
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, I loved what they did with that,
Yeah.
and just I just enjoyed Ant-Man and Spider-Man in this together.
Hey,
Yeah.
did you guys ever have any of these idiots that call them at-ats?
I've heard people.
I
So many
that.
people are
I've
like,
heard
it's
people.
called at-at, like older fans being like, you fucking kids, it's not AT-AT, it's at-at. And I'm always like, what do you call ATST? Ats. No,
It's a chicken walker.
Chicken walker.
A lot,
my childhood.
a lot of people call it chicken walkers.
Yeah, but it's,
Yeah.
it's ATST and it's AT-AT.
Yeah.
ATTE in the
TE.
prequel, so.
Yep. ATTE.
Anyway, oh wow, cool reference, Spider-Man. Now, what do you guys think of Melissa Tomei as Aunt May? She was hot.
She wasn't.
hottest
in-
Aunt May
Oddly
ever.
hot.
Now it,
In Tony Stark.
It's totally
it
different
makes
thing.
sense. A younger Peter Parker
To a younger
would have
Aunt
a
May.
younger
Yeah.
Aunt May. Now,
I always felt that the Aunt May in the in the original Spider-Man trilogy
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire.
with Tobey
you're not
Maguire,
Superman, you know.
I always felt that she was way too old.
They were supposed to be older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked her better than the
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man Aunt May.
Yeah.
I mean, the actress did a good
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
No,
job. No, not Sandra
Someone.
Bullock. She was Sally Ride, right?
Sally.
Sally something. Sally.
Get in!
Is it Sally? Is that, no.
Sally Field.
Sally Field.
Is Sally
Thank-
Ride
yeah.
the one on Challenger?
Huh? Sally Ride.
Sally Ride. Is she the person from the Challenger? The teacher? Is that who that is? No. What's her name? Yeah, there was a teacher on the Challenger, right?
Oh,
Shit.
NASA.
No,
Oh. Oh, Slavy, I'm tired.
That's for Scarlet Witch and Slap. Nope, you got slapped. You slapped me in the mailbag. But no, I liked her. She seemed okay. I don't know. I think this Spider-Man I'm gonna like a lot.
Ah, yeah.
And I'm very
now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm very curious as to
Me too.
where they're gonna go with it and what it's gonna be the first movie.
Well,
And Tony Stark's supposed to be in it, right?
I was gonna say, like, is it gonna be a
That's gonna
spoiler? Is it a spoiler to say that Robert Downey Jr. is gonna be in this?
He has to be.
And by the way, Robert Downey Jr. was like 20 in this movie, and he looked
He looked
good.
amazing.
I'd
Like,
fuck him.
You know what I thought of was when I saw
He
that.
can't fuck me. I'd fuck him. Calvin, look at me. Calvin. Cut right there. Calvin.
What I thought of like some of his older movies. Like I'm like
he
this
looked
looks like
he looked younger than he did in Air America. Like he looked really young.
Yeah.
They touched him up with makeup and CG. I don't know what they did, but they did it right. He looked really
it's CG.
good.
It's CG makeup.
Yeah.
I mean they did a pretty good job with Douglas in Ant-Man.
Absolutely, Michael
Yeah.
Douglas, wonderful. I mean, they're getting so good at that kind of stuff that
That people
It's
are
crazy.
just going to be like, hey, knock a little bit off my pay and
Well,
make me look
the,
younger.
The
in
next
this film.
Indiana Jones movie is just going to be a young young Harrison
Yeah.
Ford. They're gonna be
he's
like,
really
"Fuck it."
young and he's going. He's in a dialogue sequence and he's like, "Well, I was
It's real.
real, Jones.
You know what I mean though?
rolling boulder.
Yes, sir.
I'm a 14-year-old girl.
What?
What did he say? I don't know. He looks good though. All right.
But
Go ahead.
no, I forgot what I was going to say now. I don't know.
Well, that's kind of where my notes stop. There is a whole other third act.
Yeah,
with,
there's the
with
final
all that
fight,
stuff. But I
which
gotta
was great.
admit, I was starting to get it. I was starting to kind of get out of it just because I was so tired.
What was the final fight though?
The final fight was great. of what I saw, it looked awesome.
The final fight with Cap and Iron Man
And Winter Soldier. Yes.
Yeah. That, even though Airport was so amazing,
That was more personal.
Yeah.
it was much more personal.
Airport was more fun.
I was really hoping though.
I definitely had more fun with Airport fight.
Yeah.
I was actually like scared
Yeah.
in the last fight.
Airport fight is if we took these guys and then these guys, and I played with them like back in the day. I'd go
Yeah.
outside and I'd go to like the sandbox or in the woods, and I'd have these epic battles with myself and nobody else because I was a farm kid, no one around, and it felt like that.
Yeah.
Whereas the Act 3 fight felt like a very personal and very something that is gonna happen. You want to stop it and you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, even though I knew that was happening, I was wondering what they were going to do with it.
Yeah.
And how, because I'm like, well, Tony Stark's going there as a friend now, so
Sure.
they're going to go and fight these other guys, right? And there's going to be an awesome battle. All Black Panther's going to be there. Okay, so these 4 versus these 5, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, they're all dead. What the fuck?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say because I completely missed it. What the fuck happened with those guys?
He just shot him
He just shot him.
while they were sleeping.
Who did?
The Zemo.
Yeah.
He's like they died in their sleep. And
If it's
saw,
any
like,
consolation, they died in their sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, he shot him in the
All right.
head.
Completely missed that.
so I thought
Yeah.
he was gonna go there and release them, but no, he just
Yeah.
wanted to bring them there, fucking make them fight and kill each other.
Did you see them like in that little flashback thing when they were talking about those guys, and they're in that like prison or something, and there's a guy in the background going like this to a guy on the ground. He's going like this,
He was holding him, and he was doing that with one hand.
but he was going
yeah,
like that, and this guy's just going.
He's just going into the ground. Yeah,
It was so cool. I was
felt
like,
so bad for
"Ah, I
that
can't
guy."
wait to see those guys in action.
I know, that's
and
what
then I fell
thought.
asleep and I'm like, fuck, I missed it. And you guys like it never even happened.
Never.
Yeah, it never happened.
It's made me sad because I was waiting like, oh, Black Panther's there too, and then he was just like, well, I'll wait here and save this guy from dying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
I was kind of disappointed the same way that I was with what's this guy's name?
Crossbones?
Crossbones.
Where they introduced this amazing villain or the possibility of amazing fight or whatever, and they just
It just looks
we're
so
not
cool.
doing that. So
Why not?
I was
I was trying to see the mask came off.
no, that's fine. But like the fight in the beginning where
What
they
were
just
you
got
saying? We're not doing that. Think I was looking at his dick or something?
No.
I was
I was saying
doing this.
like no, we introduced these cool characters and
Oh, I thought you were talking
No,
to
we're
me.
I thought you
No.
were too. I'm like, what the fuck's he talking about?
I was like, what did I do wrong?
Okay,
Calvin
start
hates
over.
me now. He's gonna slap me.
just watch the tape.
Yeah, I get you. I would have liked like a villain.
Yeah,
kind of
I
thing
was
kinda
definitely-
happened there, but the villain was kind of just
Yeah.
eh.
I
Well,
kind of felt like
yeah.
they kept throwing all these interesting things in there to keep the audience interested
Yeah.
and feeling like, oh, there is going to be a big supervillain, whatever, that they're going to have to fight.
Yeah,
and
that
pan
brings
up
them
to.
kind of back
Well,
together.
Yeah,
With
but
Baron's-
it never happened.
With Baron Zemo, though, this is one of the only Marvel villains that's still alive by the end of the movie.
True.
That is
Well,
true.
I mean, Crossbones was alive at the end of Winter Soldier.
Well,
and Loki.
yes and no.
Loki.
Yeah,
They haven't killed him. Well,
true.
they did, right? And then
Yeah.
he's not though. It was a trick.
Yeah.
Actually, they did twice.
I
He's
felt like they
the
were going
god
to.
of tricksters.
They keep killing you, Loki.
He's the trickster
Well,
god.
I think they were going to do that with Red Skull too until Hugo Weaving decided not to come back too. Anyway,
Red Skull?
huh?
Agent.
Hugo Weaving.
Agent Smith.
Red Skull.
Oh, Red
He
Skull.
played Red Skull in
Mr.
the
Smith.
first. Mr. Smith. Hugo
Yeah,
Weaving.
I know who you.
He never.
V for Vendetta.
He played the Red Skull in the first movie, but he's never coming
Yeah,
back.
he didn't like the prosthetics.
He didn't
or
like the
something, so
prosthetic.
he's like, I'm not doing that more.
Anyway,
Which sucks because it could have been cool.
he was really cool.
Red Skull.
The villain from the first
Oh
movie.
shit!
The fucking
yeah.
guy
Fuck.
that's all red. Look at
You're
Skull.
talking about Captain America first movie.
Yeah.
I was like, first Avengers movie. What? He wasn't
No,
in there,
we're
was he?
doing a Captain
Shit!
America
I missed
movie.
it all.
This is a Captain America movie.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Headphone, you just-
Yeah.
All right. Do you guys have anything else before we wrap up here tonight?
What's your thoughts on whatever? What's the thing that Peter Parker had at the end?
It was like an upgraded web shooter, but with like a.
Was it like a spider light,
To me, it seemed more of like a hey
Spotlight?
kid, whenever I need you,
or whenever you need me?
or whenever you need me. I
Like
kinda
there
thought
was
of that
there
one.
was one thing
I think
on
he
like
shines
a
it in the
wheel
light.
Yeah.
that was blinking, and there was a bunch of other things like, hey, this is what I gave you this time.
Okay.
If you know
Did
if
be
you keep
cool?
doing well, I'll give you these things.
Yeah.
You know?
1 or 2 movies in, then we get the Iron Spider suit.
I can see that.
Iron Spider suit.
Yeah, the Iron Spider suit is like a red and gold color thing,
Mhm.
but then he has like spider legs, like 4 spider legs that come off of him,
So
And
he's
he can-
actually...
And it's a
legs.
metal suit, but he can use those to climb instead, or punch, or grab, or
It's
whatever.
pretty badass.
It's pretty sweet.
What?
Yeah, it's really
OP
cool.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But
Like, he held up well against Bucky and fuck, I can't remember. his
Falcon.
name. Falcon. He held up against Bucky
Well,
and
Sam.
Falcon.
Yeah.
Wilson.
Sam.
Yeah, Sam Wilson.
Hey,
And-
Mr. Wills.
I mean, that was just by himself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, I mean, he pinned him to the ground.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for what they're gonna do with Spider-Man,
Me too.
especially with it now, because I'm like, especially when he was there
Yeah.
fighting. He's like, we're seeing Spider-Man fight in a Marvel movie,
Yeah.
not
Right.
like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
you know, like it's always been Marvel. But,
It's not
oh.
real until it's next to
Yeah.
these other guys.
Yeah. Now it's tied in. Before it was just Spider-Man in his movie. Now it's like Thor and all the other stuff, and things are interweaving.
And it all connected so well. Like, Ant-Man just fit in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Black Panther just fit in. He didn't
Yeah.
have any setup. Doctor Strange is going to fit in.
Yeah.
Oh, Doctor Strange.
And then they're all
I
going to
saw
fucking
that-
fight Thanos with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my gosh!
Besides Thor, is there any other solo movies? Black Panther? He has a solo movie, right?
He's going to have a solo movie.
I'm wondering what they're gonna do now that basically Captain America's like, hey, I'm taking all these heroes. Call me when you need
Yeah.
me. You know?
I mean, surely they're going to use Andy Serkis' character from Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Who
the
was-
Claw, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Claw, something, I don't know.
No, that's.
Whatever his name is.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do.
But they're going to use him as because he's the main villain from Black Panther. And he had all the stuff that he was selling to Ultron. The vibranium,
Yeah, so that was set up a little
which
bit.
is from Wakanda.
I'm really interested in where Marvel's gonna go with it, and then Spider-Man, and how much more they'll pull Spider-Man and stuff.
I was very certain up to about I don't know when I first thought of it, but I thought for sure that when they announced Civil War that it was like Cap's probably gonna die in this movie. I just thought it would, but it didn't.
I thought
Interesting.
that someone spoiled something for me, and because they were talking about they wanted to make a Captain America suit, and they're like, "There's no point now," and I'm like, "What?
Yeah,
Like, did he read online that Captain America dies,
Yeah.
and you just spoiled this for me, and I don't know." But maybe he meant
Maybe
no
there's different endings based on what country.
No, I think it was like
Maybe in Germany, Cap dies.
in,
We got-
in Phase 3 or whatever. I don't think there's any more Captain America movies scheduled,
no,
right?
not right now.
So I think that's what he meant.
Yeah, we'll see how things are going. But anyway, very fun movie. We could talk about it all night, but we got some other stuff we're going to be doing. And
Look how many heroes was in
we
this
have a
fucking
lot.
movie.
There's a lot of heroes in this
Gosh.
movie, and you know what? It didn't feel overcrowded to me.
No, it
it
didn't.
really
Yeah,
didn't.
it was
That's
so
what I
good.
was saying before.
I
when
think
you put
what
more
helped-
superheroes in a fight.
They pulled them in, had
Yeah.
their fight, kind of split off. Put them in their jail. I'm glad they got them
mean,
out.
yeah.
but-
The thing that helped the most is that they took a chance with the Russo brothers. Russo brothers delivered, and they put all their faith in them. And now there are guardians for the next couple of big Avengers movies, and
Yeah.
I can't be more excited.
Amazing.
Is Tony the only Is the Accords gonna fuck more stuff up? They signed it, right? Is Tony the only one who's okay now?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering. I have so many
see.
questions about all that
We'll
stuff.
see,
I'm so
we'll see.
curious.
Anyway, so we want to, that was what we had to say. Obviously, I'm going to be watching it again. But I feel pretty good about this little review that we did. We want to hear what you guys have to think. What are some theories that you guys had? Some comments, some questions.
Things
we can
we
talk about.
missed.
Yep, we can talk about those things down in the comments below. In the description, there are links to our social media, including our Patreon page, where you guys can go and if you like the stuff that we do and you'd like to support Blind Wave, every little bit helps when it comes to that stuff. You can find all of that at blindwave.net, links to everything. And our Twitch streams are usually on the weekends. We might not have it this weekend, but make sure you guys are checking out our Twitter that you can stay up to date to everything coming out Blind Wave.
Yep.
That's everything. I'm Eric.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Aaron.
And Calvin. Wait. What are you doing?
Come on, Captain America.
He can't fly.
Yeah.
Oh.